Captain, I'm here in the game quarters. Aliens are overrunning our ship. Whoa! Aliens are attacking us from outside. We've got to get this junk core back online and get out of here before our shields take another hit, or we're going to be toast. Captain! Captain! Are you there? Captain! Thank you so much for this wonderful award. I am so proud, and I want to thank the Academy for this honor. I am truly blessed. Thank you so much. I want to thank my wife and my kids. Without their love and support, none of this would have been possible. And I want to thank my co-hosts, Peter and Alan and Sarah and Matt and Greenie. They were so wonderful on the set. And I also want to thank AEG, because without their sight and their vision on this project, The Captain is Dead never would have come to fruition. So thank you. Thank you again. Thank you.
The Arch Gaming Network is proud to bring you this board game review. Now here's your host, Sean Smith.
Hello, and thank you for stopping by. And more importantly, thank you for enduring that ridiculous opening.
Yes, indeed.
Today we're taking a look at The Captain is Dead by J.T. Smith and Joe Price, and published by AEG. Now, The Captain is Dead is a cooperative game. It's an intense cooperative game for 2 to 7 players. The premise being is that your ship is come under attack by aliens, and unfortunately the first casualty has been the captain.
No!
So now you have to, you and your other players need to get this jump core going so that you can warp out of the trouble and get away from that. All the while you're going to have systems that are going down that you need to bring back online. You are going to face aliens coming on board, and aliens attacking the outside of the ship, damaging your shields. You have to be able to take care of that jump core and get out of there before a few scenarios happen where you will lose the game. So why don't we take a look at the setup, and then I'll give you a walkthrough, and then I'll give you my thoughts on the other side. Okay, to set up The Captain is Dead, you're going to place the game board in the center of the table. Now, you have these various systems all around the edge of the board that correspond to the different rooms. So, for example, the external sensors or scanner, the comm system, and the shields are all controlled from the bridge. They are red, so the red room is what is where you can use them. Now, for some of these systems, they can be online or inactive. You have these cards here. They're two-sided. The first side says online, and the second side has offline. You're just going to go around. Again, this has a yellow top to it, so it's for the yellow room. It's your torpedo tube. It is online. So you're going to go around the board, placing these various systems. Whoops. And you're doing that to signify that all of those are currently online. Okay, then you have a set of 5 ship upgrades. They have an active and an inactive side. You're going to just take them and put them on the inactive side and place them here by the science lab near the inactive upgrade slot. Okay, you're going to go ahead and load the torpedo tube. There are red X's on the board here. So to start off a normal level game, you're going to start with 5 torpedoes. Alright, up here are the alerts. Now the alert deck comes with yellow alerts, orange alerts, and red alerts. I don't have to tell you, they get worse, of course, as you go through the deck. You're going to put the red on the bottom, the orange in the middle, and then the yellow on top, and place them here. You're then going to take the top 2, turn them over, and put them above, called the face-up alerts. There's a little spot here that says face-up alerts. Next you have the battle plan deck. And you're going to shuffle those up. These cards give you special abilities. So they can be one-time use or used at throughout the game. You're going to shuffle those up and place them in the battle plan spot. Alright, you're going to take the skill deck. Now the skill deck has 5 different skills, so you can have tactical, engineering, science, or command. These are skills that can be added to your player so that you can use them to do different things throughout the ship. And you are going to place those here next to the computer. And because the internal scanners are online, this allows you to take the top 3 and place them over here. Alright, we have some tools here. There are a set of 5 different tools you can use throughout the game. These tools have an A side and a B side. So when they are used, you'll use the A side first, then you can use the B side, and then once you've done that, they are no longer in the game. You're going to just place them right here next to the cargo pod. You have a couple of these yellow bars. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to put one at the 100% on the shields. And depending on what difficulty you want to play, you're going to place it on your jump core. We're just going to set up for a normal game here. You also have an orange bar. You're just going to place that off to the side as that may come into play later. Okay, we are setting up for a 3-player game. So now you're going to take the skill cards and you're going to give 5 to each player. Okay, so now it's time to choose players. Now the rules state to take the standee bases, to take these colored bases here and take one of each color and then just randomly give them out. Since I already put all the characters on the standees and I'm not going to take them off, we do it a little differently. We take the character cards and I grab one of every color. So there are 7 different colors that you can choose from. Shuffle those up and then you're going to give one to each player, and then the players can reveal the color that they have. Alright, so we have blue, green, and orange. Then what you're going to do is go through the rest of the roll cards and you're going to give the players all of the character cards of their particular color. Now some colors have 3 to choose from while others only 2. The green player will have 3 to choose from: the scholar, the cyborg, and the science officer. The blue player will get to choose between the admiral and first officer. And then the orange player will get to choose between the chief engineer and the teleporter chief. So each player will now have at least a couple of different roles that they can choose from. So why don't we take a closer look at one of these cards here so that you can get a better idea of what you're looking at and how to choose. So here we have the scholar. Now the anatomy of this card is that the number here, this determines when you will go in the round. The lower the number, the sooner that you go during a turn. Next you have on the left side, these are your action points. So this player has 4 action points. Most of the characters have 4. This is your hand limit. So you're going to see that you are going to be acquiring skills and tools, and the scholar is allowed to have 7. Now over on the right side, these are the permanent abilities that this character has. This character is always going to have a command skill, a tactical skill, and an engineering skill. She's a well-rounded player. And then at the bottom you have a bonus ability. So in this case, the scholar says if at any time you don't have any skill cards during your turn, you can take one you can draw a random skill from the skill deck as a free action on your turn. Now in comparison here, the cyborg has 5 action points, has a hand limit of 7, doesn't have any special skills that are inherent to this character, but if there are anomalies that happen, the cyborg is unaffected by them. Then you have the science officer. Hand limit's a little smaller, comes pre-packed with 2 engineering skills automatically, 4 action points as well, and then their bonus. So you can see there are a variety of options to choose from. So I think the green player is going to go ahead and play with the scholar. So you just return the other 2 cards to the box. You now have the standees, and the standees each have a unique pose to them. So you're going to look for the standee that matches the pose on the card. You're going to take your character, and they will start in the room with their color, so she would start in the science lab. Alright, the other 2 players have decided who they want to be. We're going to have the Admiral with 2 built-in command skills, and is in the war room. And then you have the Chief Engineer, comes preloaded with 2 engineering skills.
Nailed it.
Then they're going to take one of the 5 skill cards that they had, okay, and they're going to place them in the cargo pod so those can be picked up along with tools later. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and remove the players from around the board so that we can have a little more room for the gameplay. Alright, let's talk about each of the individual areas around the board so that you have an idea of what all these systems will do. Starting down here, you have the torpedo tube, which you access from the armory. The torpedo tube allows you to either not draw from this deck by firing a torpedo, or if there was, say, an alien ship like this and it says destroy with missiles, if there was an alien ship here docked next to your ship, you could fire a torpedo to remove this card. Now, to use a torpedo, you have to be in the armory, and then you have to use 2 action points. Then you have to have a command and a tactic skill to be able to fire this weapon. Now, if at any time this system ever goes offline, you can go to the armory to repair it by using 1 action point and an engineering to restore that. Then you have the shields. It will start at 100% and it will slowly work its way down. If at any time you reach 0% and take another hit after that, then the game will be over. You can come to the bridge to repair the shields by spending 2 action points and 2 tactics. Next, you have the comm systems and the external scanners that can also be accessed from the bridge. Now, the comm system is very helpful because it allows you to be able to trade skills, either to gain skills or take skills from another player for 1 action. And you don't have to be in the bridge to use this action, because this symbol down here means it can be anywhere. So if I wanted to, if it was blue player's turn and I wanted to trade skills between blue and green, as long as the comm systems are up for 1 action, I could send him or take a skill from that player. Now, it should be noted, some of these systems can be destroyed during the game. And if that ever happens, you can rebuild them, but it takes quite a bit. So for example, the comm systems, if you ever wanted to rebuild it once it was destroyed, 2 actions, 2 tactics, and 4 engineering skills to rebuild that. Next, you have the external scanners. This, as we talked about earlier, allows you to reveal the top 2 cards and place them in queue. The topmost card, this card here, is in queue 1. So this would be the next card to be played, and then this card is in the 2nd queue. Once this has taken effect, you move this one up and draw another card. Next, you have the Captain's Journal, and you're able to use 2 actions and a command to draw from this battle plan deck. Now, once these battle plans are gone, they're gone. You can't use them again. However, they are very helpful. They give you all kinds of different bonuses and perks that are very helpful to the game. Now, from the core, you have 2 systems. You have the computers and the internal scanners. The computer allows you to draw using 1 action from the top of this deck. Or, if the internal sensors are up, you can use 1 action to take any one of the 3 cards. Here you have the cargo hold for 1 action. You can take either a tool or one of the skills that are located in the cargo hold. Over here in engineering, you have the jump core and the teleporter. Now, the jump core is set to normal. You are trying to get it all the way up to engage. To repair the jump core requires 2 actions and 5 engineering. Next you have the teleporter. Now the teleporter is very helpful because for one action it allows you to move to anywhere else in the ship for just one action. The bonus with this is that by looking at these other two symbols, or the three symbols total, first of all, you don't have to be in engineering to use it. This little symbol, wireless symbol here, means as long as it's online, any player can use it from any room. You can also use it if you are injured or if aliens are in the room with you. Next you have the upgrade bays. So you have different bonuses or upgrades you can do to the ship. Shield modulators, predictive monitoring, teleportation inhibitor, auto surgeon, and epinephrine ventilation. You can have up to 2 upgrades in your ship. Also from the research station, you can perform research. There are cards in this deck that are called anomalies, and they have ongoing negative effects in the game. You can have somebody come to this area, spend 1 action, and 4 of your engineering to remove
No, dear,
that
that's
anomaly.
wrong.
Over here in the infirmary, if you're ever injured, you have to make it to the trauma station and then use 1 action to heal yourself. And finally, back here in the armory again, you have the security station. If you use 1 action and 1 tactic, you can kill 1 hostile in any location. So if there's some aliens over here and you're here, you could use the security station to remove that for 1 action and 1 tactic. Okay, to finish the setup on this game, you unfortunately have to draw 5 alerts, not from here, but from the actual deck, and resolve them. So the first one is an alien fighter ship.
No way.
Whenever the shields take damage, increase the damage by 10%. That will go right here. You cannot override or destroy the first 5 that are coming out. They're going to happen. Next, add 2 hostile aliens to the armory, and anyone who's in the armory would be injured. These are the beautiful alien standees. Next, reduce shields by 10%. The comm system is offline. So, it goes down 10%, but because of this ship, it goes down another 10%. We're at 80%. And it says the comm system's offline, so we have to take the comm system card, turn it over.
No!
And now players are not able to use that to trade skill cards between each other from remote locations. If you're in the same room, you can trade cards for an action. Add 3 hostile aliens to the bridge. And finally, reduce shields by 10%. So again, 1, 2 goes down 20%. So that is the start of our game. We are already at 60%. We have some aliens that have boarded the ship. We have to get this jump core going and get out of here before our shields reach 0. Or, if you go through this whole deck, if you go through all of the alerts without winning, you lose the game. The other way you can lose the game is if all 12, there are 12 of these alien standees. If all 12 are on your ship, you lose the game as well. So what can you do with your actions on your turn? Well, on the back of your character cards, and since you're going to have extras, you might as well keep this one and then grab another one of your color and just turn it over to the side here. One thing you can do for 1 action, you can move 2 spaces. Now, if the teleporter is up, that doesn't matter. So for 1 action, I could move all the way to engineering if I wanted. But if the teleporter was down and I wanted to move 2 spaces, hallways being a space, you could do this and then move into the room with the alien. Now, for 1 action, you can also kill an alien in your location. You can also carry another player 1 space. If they're injured, that may be helpful. You can give a skill or a tool to another player for 1 action if they're in the same room, or if the comm system is online, you can also use that 1 action to trade off. So let's take a turn with each player and just kind of see what you can do. So the Admiral, who has a rank of 1, will get to go first. 4 actions and 2 commands. Now, his ability is all about using the battle plans. He's able to draw them even without being in the war room. And he gets to draw 2 of them and then choose the one he wants and then puts the other one at the bottom of the deck. But we have an issue here because we're already down to 60%. And we know at the end of the Admiral's turn, the shields are going to go down not only another 10, but also down another 10%. So it's really important that we get to the bridge so that we can get rid of these aliens so that we can start repairing the shields. We can't use any systems if an alien is in that room. The only exception to that is the teleporter because it has the alien symbol on it. But he could also draw a battle plan and see if that helps. Now we also need to keep in mind that he has these skill cards as well. So here's what I think is going to happen. It's important to note these skills here can be used for every action of that player's turn. And you'll see what I mean here in a second. So we're going to use 2 actions and a command to draw a battle plan. He has 2 actions and he has 2 of these. So he could use one of them to draw a battle plan. He'll draw 2. The captain is going to go with this. It isn't going to help a whole lot right now, but basically what it says is that at any time you can play this card on any roll that does not already have a 2 engineering discount. So when you look at the engineer has a 2 engineering discounts. These are your discounts. Well, the captain, or the admiral I should say, is going to go ahead and play this on himself to make himself a little more versatile. So that is going to basically in effect say you would have 2 of those and then 2 of the orange engineerings at all time. Now the admiral still has 2 more actions, so he's going to use one of those actions to teleport here, and then he's going to use his final action to remove one of the aliens, at least to get that started. Now it's important to note, aliens in a room, they don't do anything. They just annoy you. They cannot injure you. Now when a card is drawn that says that you'll get injured when when an alien comes into a room or when a comm goes offline, sure, you could get injured then. But aliens by themselves can't do anything. They're not going to move, and they're not going to try and harm you. It is important to note, if at any time a card says you are to be injured, you would lay your standee down. When that happens, the only 2 actions you can do are those that have these symbols on them, or you can use the teleporter because it has that symbol on it, and I believe that is it. Those are the only systems you can use. So you could still teleport with aliens in the room, and if you're injured, to teleport yourself to the infirmary where you need to heal yourself. Otherwise, the only other thing you can do is you can move 2 spaces if you're injured, and you can kill hostile aliens when you're injured. Now, if you're in a room with aliens, this is the only thing you can do. This is it. You can only kill them, regardless of whether you're injured or not. Of course, you can use the teleporter, so if you just want to get the heck out of there, you could do that because it has the alien symbol on it. Now that I've moved to this room, I can't do anything else until these aliens are gone, unless I teleport out of that room. So now the Admiral is out of action points. So this card now would go into effect. Reduce the shields by 10%, and the computers will go offline. However, you can override this command, or this alert, by spending 3 command points. Again, since it is the Admiral's turn, the Admiral always has 2 command skills available. And again, yes, we used one here to draw here, but it doesn't matter. You still have the 2. So those 2, along with one of the commands that he had in his hand, he is going to use this to stop this from happening. So that will just go straight to the discard pile. Woo! This card moves up. This will be next in queue. And we flip over the next one so we know what is coming. You'd also want to make sure you didn't forget to discard your used commands. Alright, well, it is now the engineer's turn to go. The Chief Engineer has 4 actions and permanently has 2 engineering skills. Now in his hand he has these skills, so he has 4 engineering total. When you add the 2 from here, he now has 4 that he can use, 2 permanent and 2 that he can dispose of. However, if he wants to repair this jump core, he needs 5 engineering and 2 actions. So what he's going to do is he talks to the Scholar. The Scholar has an engineering in her hand. Alright, so for 1 action, he's going to ask to get this engineering. So he will take that into his hand, making sure that of the cards that he hasn't gone over the 6 the 6 hand limit. He's only got the 5. So the Chief Engineer has now used 1 action. Now she will use 2 actions and 5 engineering. So 2 permanent, 3 of these, discard these 3. And the jump core has moved 1 step closer to being repaired. Alright, the Chief Engineer has 1 action left. Not really much she can do, but there is a tool in the cargo pod, or the cargo hold, that will allow you to help do engineering to help get those jump cores. So for her last action, she's just going to move to the cargo hold so that on her next turn, she can just grab that tool right away. Since the Chief Engineer's turn is over, she has to draw this, or she uses this top card. And this one says the Torpedo Tube is offline, so we now have to turn that over. We cannot use torpedoes, and any players that were in the armory at the time would be injured. Now we'll flip over the next card. We can see that the next 2 cards are anomalies. That's no good. Now this card is the Irrational Fear, and it basically says that you cannot use any systems if you are in one of the rooms by yourself. You're just overcome with fear that you aren't able to use that ability. To get rid of this anomaly is going to require you to engineer 4 of them in 1 action. Now it'd be nice to be able to shoot that down, but unfortunately the Torpedo Tube is offline. So it looks like that is going to happen no matter what. Alright, the Engineer is going to try to help out. So for 1 action, she's going to teleport here. For her 2nd action, she's going to kill 1 of the aliens. Her 3rd action, she's going to kill the 3rd alien in there. That is going to leave her with 1 action left. She is going to use that action to repair the Comm Systems. Since she has a permanent tactic, she'll only have to give up 1 of these cards to discard that. And now this is back online. Now the anomaly will come out. It will go right here. And that will affect players until that anomaly is taken care of. There's another anomaly coming. You're going to flip another card to put it in the queue. And now you'll start back over with the Admiral. And play will continue going around and around until you can get this jump core up to engage before your shields go below 0, or this deck runs out, or 12 aliens overtake the ship. And that is how you play The Captain is Dead. Okay, so that is The Captain is Dead. As you can see, it's a very intense, very interesting game. Let's talk about some of the components. First off, you have the board, and I think the board is very well crafted. It's very well done. A lot of great color on it. A lot of sheen, a lot of shine on that board, and it's well constructed. If I had any issue with the board, is that I wish maybe it was larger. Instead of having all of these different discard piles and alert cards and everything else off the board, I would have preferred to have them on the board, but that's a minor issue. The box insert for the game is really nice. I kind of like it, especially they have a foam core area for you to put the missiles in that will protect them. Also, the Standees, I do like the fact that, you know, like for the green player here, you have 3 different Standees. Get those in there. You have 3 different Standees, and 1 for each of the different roles. So the role cards have different poses on them, and they give you a Standee for each one for that role, so that you know, other players, I guess, can more easily tell, you know, what role you're playing. I don't mind the Standees so much. I don't understand why they went with clear. I mean, I guess when they're all on the board and you can see through them more easily. I guess that's why they did it. I wish they would have went with a white background. It would have been a lot easier to see the poses, see what's on there anyway. So Standees were okay. I wish they wouldn't have went with the clear background. So what about the gameplay? Well, the game is very similar to other intense cooperative games. You know, Pandemic, of course, comes to mind, and Flashpoint comes to mind. The similarities being that, first of all, you know, these things are quickly escalating on you, and that you have to take an action, a kind of a negative action at the end of every turn. So you can see some of the similarities there. So you might ask, well, why would you want to consider this game? I think The Captain is Dead does a few things differently that differentiates it from those other games. First of all, of course, it has the sci-fi theme.
No way.
So if you are a Star Trek fan or a sci-fi fan in general, you may really like this type of theme. And as far as the theme goes, I think it works really well. I think it's very well integrated into this game, that you are feeling that you are trying to survive on this ship and trying to get it working so that you can get out of there. But besides that, some of the other things that I really liked about it is, first of all, it has 18 different roles that you can choose from.
Oh yeah!
That is a lot of different roles. That's really going to add to the replayability. Aside from that, one thing that this game does is it allows you to mitigate certain events that are going to happen, those alarm cards. The fact that you can use command cards to override some of the alerts, or to use missiles to shoot down aliens that are coming in and attacking you, is really a huge advantage, albeit you're not going to be able to stop everything. You just can't. But to be able to see on the scanners, if your scanners are up, what's coming, and then plan to try and stop some of those bad things from happening, does help. And that makes it different from some of the other cooperative games that are out there. Now, the game plays 2 to 7 players. I've played it with 2 players, and it is extremely difficult to win this game. There are just too many things going wrong, that make it very difficult to win at 2 players. If you're going to play 2 players, you may want to consider each person playing 2 different roles. I think probably the sweet spot for this game is probably 4 or 5, 6. Played with 7, played with 6, and it was a little bit less of a challenge. We were able to win the game. It was still challenging, but having almost a full complement of the different types of roles out there certainly helped make the game easier to play. So that is The Captain is Dead. I really enjoy this game. I give this one a 9. Now, if you've liked this video, please take a moment to hit the like button below, subscribe to our channel, check out our other great videos, and once again, thank you for stopping by.
Thank you for visiting the Arch Gaming Network. For more great content, check us out at archgamingnetwork.com. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Follow us on Twitter and like us on Facebook.